The door flew open like a gunshot in the dead of night. And there he was, Thiago, my stepson, his silhouette cutting through the dim light of my bedroom like a blade. I froze, heart slamming against my ribs, every inch of me exposed under the unforgiving glow of the bedside lamp. No sheet to clutch, no excuse to hide. "Dad?" he whispered, but it wasn't confusion in his voice. It was something sharper, something that cracked the air between us like lightning. And in that split second, I knew our world had just shattered. I'd always prided myself on being the steady one, the rock in this fractured family we'd patched together after his mother's death. But as Thiago stepped forward, his eyes locking onto mine with an intensity that burned away years of careful distance, I realized the truth I'd buried deeper than her grave. I wasn't just his stepfather anymore. I was a man unraveling, and he was the thread pulling me apart. What he did next wasn't forgiveness or flight. It was reach out, his hand trembling as it hovered inches from my shoulder. And in that hesitation, I saw the boy I'd raised collide with the man he was becoming, dragging all my secrets into the light. My name is Daniel Harper, and for the last 8 years, I've lived in the shadow of a life that wasn't entirely mine. We were in Willow Creek, a sleepy suburb an hour north of Chicago, the kind of place where everyone knows your business but pretends they don't. Picture endless rows of 2-story colonials with manicured lawns, American flags fluttering on porches, and pickup trucks idling in driveways on Sunday mornings. It's the heartland, folksy and fierce, where football games light up Friday nights and church potlucks mend what gossip tears apart. I moved here after Lisa, Thiago's mom, swept me off my feet in a whirlwind romance that felt like salvation. She was a force, all red hair and unfiltered laughter, a high school English teacher who quoted Whitman like it was small talk. I was a graphic designer freelancing from home, quiet, steady, the guy who fixed leaky faucets and grilled burgers just right. We met at a 4th of July block party, sparks flying over sparklers and cheap beer. 6 months later, we were married in a backyard ceremony under string lights, Thiago standing awkwardly to the side in his too-big suit, 12 years old and already taller than me. I loved Lisa fiercely, in the way you love a storm. Chaotic, consuming, grateful for the calm after. But there were parts of me she never touched, truths I locked away like old photo albums in the attic. I was gay, had known it since college, since stolen glances in the locker room and a fumbling kiss behind the frat house that tasted like regret and revelation. I'd buried it deep after my parents disowned me for confusion, as they called it, shipping me off to community college with a Bible and a warning. Lisa was my shield, my normalcy, the life that let me breathe without the world closing in. And Thiago? He was the bonus, the kid who needed a dad after his biological one bailed for a younger model in Vegas. I stepped into the role like it was scripted, coaching his little league team, helping with algebra homework, cheering at his graduations. He called me Dad, without hesitation, and for a while, that was enough to drown out the ache. But grief has a way of excavating what you've buried. Lisa's cancer came fast, stage 4 pancreatic, the kind doctors whisper about like a curse. She fought like hell, chemo sessions in the oncology ward of Northwestern Memorial, her hand squeezing mine until her knuckles whitened, Thiago pacing the linoleum halls like a caged wolf. "Promise me you'll take care of him, Danny," she roshed one night, her voice a threadbare whisper, eyes glassy from the morphine. "He's got so much fire in him. Don't let it burn him up." I promised, choking on the words, and 3 months later, she was gone, buried under a gray November sky in Rose Hill Cemetery, her plot marked by a simple granite stone etched with a line from Leaves of Grass. I celebrate myself and sing myself. The first year was a blur of casseroles from neighbors and Thiago's silence. He was 18 then, a senior at Willow Creek High, built like a linebacker with his dad's broad shoulders and his mom's dark curls. Straight as an arrow, or so I thought. Girls giggling in the hallway, prom dates in his Mustang, the works. He threw himself into football, aiming for a scholarship to Illinois State, dreaming of coaching someday. I watched from the sidelines, proud and hollow, filling the house with the ghosts of her laughter. That's when Gabriel entered the picture, or re-entered, really. We'd been roommates in college at DePaul, back when Chicago's winters bit like regret, and we'd shared more than rent, late-night confessions over cheap whiskey, his hand on my knee under the kitchen table, the kind of bond that simmers until it boils over. He was the one who got away, the artist who fled to New York for gallery shows and self-destruction, leaving me with a scribbled note and a heart full of what-ifs. Now, a decade later, he was back, divorced and drifting, crashing on my couch after a bad breakup. "Just till I get on my feet, Dan," he said, that crooked smile unchanged, hazel eyes crinkling like autumn leaves. Thiago tolerated him, mostly, called him the painter guy. I'd the canvases piling up in the garage with teenage disdain. But for me, Gabriel was oxygen, stolen moments in the kitchen while Thiago was at practice, his fingers brushing mine over coffee mugs, whispers of, "I missed you," that tasted like coming home. We never crossed the line. Not fully, not with the kid in the house, but the tension hummed like a live wire, pulling me toward the edge. It was a muggy August evening, the kind where the air sticks to your skin like guilt when everything cracked open. I'd just showered off the day's sweat, the house empty except for the hum of the AC and the distant bark of neighborhood dogs. Thiago was at a team barbecue, or so he'd texted, and Gabriel had a showing downtown, Urban Decay Portraits, he called them, all grit and longing. I toweled off in my bedroom, the fan stirring the curtains, lost in the rhythm of drying my hair when the door burst open. Thiago. His face was a storm, eyes wild, jaw clenched, a bruise blooming purple under his left eye like an accusation. He must have come straight from wherever hell he'd been, jersey untucked, cleats still on, tracking mud across the hardwood. Lisa had refinished herself. I dropped the towel instinctively, arms flailing for cover that wasn't there, heat flooding my face as his gaze raked over me. Not disgust, not shock, something rawer, like he'd walked into a room he wasn't supposed to see. "Dad," the word hung, fractured, and then he moved, not away, but toward me, his hand extending like he meant to steady us both. His fingers grazed my arm, electric, and in that touch, I felt the world tilt. I didn't mean to," he stammered, but his eyes said otherwise, searching mine with a desperation that mirrored my own buried storms. I yanked the sheet from the bed, wrapping it around my waist, heart thundering. "Thiago, what the hell? What happened to your face?" He deflated, hand dropping, rubbing the back of his neck like he did when lies tangled on his tongue. "Fight at the party. Some asshole from rival team talking shit about mom's memorial fund." Lies. I could smell them, sharp as ozone before rain. But before I could press, he collapsed onto the edge of the bed, head in hands, shoulders shaking. Not sobs, but something quieter, more dangerous. That's when Gabriel's truck rumbled into the driveway, headlights slicing through the blinds like judgment. Thiago's head snapped up, eyes narrowing. "Is that him? The painter? You too. You're..." He trailed off, the implication hanging like smoke. I swallowed hard, the sheet clutched like a lifeline. "It's not what you think. Gabriel's just a friend. Old college buddy." But Thiago's laugh was bitter, hollow. "Friends don't look at each other like that. I see it, Dad. Every time he's here." He stood, towering over me, the boy-eyed bandaged knees for now a man unraveling threads I didn't know existed. "And you, walking around like this, like you don't care who's watching." The words landed like punches, each one excavating the secrets I'd guarded. I wanted to yell, to tell him about the nights I'd lain awake wondering if he suspected, if the way I ruffled his hair lingered too long, if my pride at his first boyfriend masked envy. Instead, I whispered, "Thiago, talk to me. What's really going on?" He paced, fists balled, the bruise darkening like a secret. "You want truth? Fine. That fight? It wasn't about Mom. It was about me. About Jake, my best friend since 5th grade. He cornered me in the locker room after practice last week. Said he'd see me looking at him. Called me a fag, Dad. Said if I didn't watch it, everyone would know." His voice cracked on the slur, and the room spun. Thiago, my straight-arrow stepson, the golden boy, grappling with the same shadow I'd hidden for decades. I reached for him, but he flinched, stepping back. Don't pretend you get it. You're you. Normal. Married mom. Gave me a life." The irony burned, unspoken between us. Gabriel knocked then, soft but insistent, his voice muffled through the door. "Dan, you home?" Brought Ty from that spot on Halstead. Thiago's eyes flashed. Betrayal, raw and unfiltered. Tell him to go, or I will. The air thickened, choices fracturing like glass. I nodded, mute, and watched my stepson storm out, leaving the door ajar, the night air rushing in like an uninvited truth. That night, I didn't sleep. Gabriel stayed, sensing the fracture, his hand on my back as we sat on the couch, nursing beers from the fridge Lisa stocked with craft IPAs. Kids got demons, he murmured, his thumb tracing circles that soothed and stung. You gonna tell him? About us? About me? I laughed, a dry rasp. He's barely holding it together. Coming out to him now would break us. Gabriel's eyes softened, that old tenderness surfacing. You're not broken, Dan. You never were. Lisa knew, didn't she? I nodded, throat tight. She'd found my journal once, post-diagnosis, pages filled with half-confessions, and Gabriel's name inked like a prayer. She said it didn't change a thing. That love's bigger than labels. But labels had built our life, and now they were crumbling. The next morning, Thiago was gone before dawn. Note on the counter. Staying with Jake's family. Need space. Football camp starts Monday. No signature, no warmth. I drove to the high school field that afternoon, the bleachers empty under a relentless sun, watching shadows lengthen where he'd once cartwheeled after touchdowns. Gabriel met me there, sketchpad in hand, capturing the loneliness in charcoal strokes. He'll come around, he said, but doubt laced his words. Weeks blurred. Thiago at camp, monosyllabic texts about drills and dorm food. I threw myself into work, designing logos for local breweries, the monotony a balm. Gabriel extended his stay, our evenings a delicate dance, dinners of frozen lasagna, movies on the couch where his head rested on my shoulder, the line between comfort and confession blurring. One night, after a bottle of Malbec, he kissed me, soft, tentative, tasting of grapes and goodbye. I pulled back, guilt crashing like waves. Not here. Not now. He left for the city the next day, a hug at the door that lingered too long. Call when you're ready, Harper. I'm not going anywhere this time. Thiago returned tanned and distant, scholarship letter in hand, eyes avoiding mine over breakfast pancakes. The bruise had faded, but the rift hadn't. We tiptoed around it, small talk about college visits, his Mustang's oil change, until one rainy Thursday, when he dropped the bomb. I'm gay, Dad. The words tumbled out over dinner, fork clattering against plate, thunder rumbling outside like applause. Or bi, I don't know. But Jake was right. I've been lying to myself. To everyone. My heart seized, fork frozen midair. Pride swelled, tangled with terror. Thiago. I started, but he cut me off. And you? Don't think I haven't noticed. The way you look at Gabriel. Mom told me, before she died. Said you had a big heart, room for more than one kind of love. His eyes, so like hers, pinned me. Why'd you hide it? From me? The question hung, a guillotine. I set down the fork, hands trembling. Because I was scared. Scared of losing you. Of this town chewing us up. Your mom. She was my everything. But yeah, there's more. Always has been. He nodded, slow, the rain pattering like hesitant forgiveness. I get it now. That night, walking in on you. It wasn't about the naked part. It was seeing you vulnerable. Real. Made me face my own shit. We talked till midnight. His confusion with Jake, the slurs echoing in locker rooms, my college heartbreaks, Lisa's grace. It was messy, tears mixing with laughter over her infamous burnt meatloaf disasters. For the first time, the house felt less like a tomb, more like a bridge. But bridges burn easy. 2 weeks later, Gabriel called from New York, voice tight, words clipped. Dan, there's something you need to know. Thiago. He reached out. Met him for coffee last week when I was in town. Kid's got guts. My stomach dropped. What? He's telling people. About us. Said it slipped during a team huddle, defending you after someone overheard gossip. Now the coach is calling, parents whispering. It's blowing up. Betrayal stung, sharp and unexpected. Thiago, my confessor, my mirror, exposing us to shield me? Or to shatter the facade? I hung up, dialing him, but it went to voicemail, his away message a loop of wind chimes from the app. That night, the storm returned, fiercer, uprooting the oak Lisa planted on our first anniversary. I sat in the dark kitchen, phone silent, wondering if truth was a gift or a grenade. The fallout hit like a Midwest blizzard, swift, unrelenting, burying everything under layers of ice. By Friday, the texts started. First from Coach Harlan, a burly ex-Marine with a whistle around his neck and Bible verses on his office wall. Daniel, need to talk about Thiago's distractions. Team morale's tanking. Meet me after practice? Subtext screamed louder than the words. Small town code for your family's queer drama is poison. I showed up anyway, parking the old Honda in the lot slick with October rain, the field lights buzzing like angry hornets. Thiago was on the sidelines, helmet off, curls plastered to his forehead, arguing with a teammate whose face I recognized from the yearbook, broad jaw, Letterman jacket, the works. Words like freak and pervert sliced through the drizzle. Thiago's voice rising in defense, fists clenched but not swinging. I stepped out, coat flapping, and the huddle broke, eyes swiveling to me like spotlights. Mr. Harper, Coach drawled, clipboard underarm, mustache twitching. Appreciate you coming. Let's walk. We circled the track, gravel crunching underfoot, the air thick with wet earth and unspoken verdicts. Look, Dan, you're a good man. Helped with fundraisers, all that. But this, business with your friend. And now Thiago's mouthing off? Parents are up in arms. School board meeting Monday. Might pull scholarships if it escalates. Might get twisted. It's Thiago's truth, Harlan. Not a distraction. Kid's fighting for his spot, same as always. He clapped my shoulder, grip firm but fatherly. Truth's a luxury in Willow Creek. We got values here. Family, faith, football. You know that. Values. The words soured, tasting of hypocrisy. I'd seen the same coach turn a blind eye to concussions, to the star quarterback's DUI, hushed under boys will be boys. But queerness? That was the line, drawn in holy sand. Thiago jogged over as Harlan retreated, helmet dangling, breath ragged. You hurt? Yeah. And the team's turning on you. He shrugged, water beading on his lashes. Not all, but enough. Jake's leading the charge, says I betrayed him by coming out first. Like it's a competition. Pain flickered in his eyes, the kind that carves canyons. Jake, the best friend who'd become a ghost, his text gone cold after that locker room confrontation. We drove home in silence, wipers slapping rhythmically, the radio tuned low to NPR's All Things Considered. Stories of gay rights marches in D.C., a bomb and a reminder of worlds beyond our bubble. At the red light by the Dairy Queen, Thiago broke. I didn't mean to out you, Dad. It just spilled. Some jerk said you were soft on Gabriel, laughing like it was a joke. I snapped. Told them to fuck off with their small-minded bullshit. That love's love, no matter who. Pride warred with fury. You could have talked to me first. Warn me. Now it's everywhere. Whispers at the grocery, stares from the mailman. Coach might yank your ride to state. His laugh was sharp, edged with tears. Then what? Community college? Flip burgers like you did after DePaul? No. I own it now. All of it. Home was a sanctuary turned siege. The next day, Mrs. Ellis from next door knocked with her famous lemon bars. Condolence or confrontation? Daniel, honey, we're worried. For Thiago. This phase. It passes, you know. Prayer circle Sunday, if you want in. Phase. Like it was puberty or a bad haircut. I thanked her politely, bars untouched on the counter, and bolted the door. Gabriel arrived that evening, unannounced, duffel slung over shoulder, rain slicked from the L train. Couldn't stay away, he said, pulling me into a hug that smelled of city smoke and safety. Thiago was upstairs, headphones blasting indie rock, his escape hatch. We cooked spaghetti in the kitchen, Gabriel chopping garlic with theatrical flair, recounting his gallery flop in Soho. Critic called it derivative despair. Like that's not the point. Laughter bubbled, easing the knot in my chest, but it died when Thiago thundered down, spotting us. You again? What? Dad's keeper now. Gabriel raised hands in surrender, sauce spoon midair. Easy kid. Just slinging pasta. Thiago's glare could curdle milk. Save it. I know why you're here. To play house while the town's burning us at the stake. The room iced over. I stepped between them, palms out. Enough. Gabriel's family. And Thiago, you don't get to police who stands with us. He scoffed, grabbing a plate. Family? Like how Mom was. Or is this the real deal, the one she knew about? The barb landed, twisting old wounds. Lisa had been our anchor, her bisexuality a quiet footnote she'd shared over wine one night. Love's a spectrum, Danny. Don't box yourself in. Thiago had overheard fragments, piecing together myths. Gabriel set down the spoon, voice low. Your mom's the reason I'm here, Thiago. She called me, last year, before the end. Said Dan needed someone who saw all of him. Not the stepdad mask. Thiago froze, fork hovering. She. What? Truth, Gabriel said simply. She loved you both fierce. Wanted you whole. The plate clattered to the sink, undrained noodles steaming. Thiago bolted upstairs, doors slamming like punctuation. I sank onto a stool, head in hands. Gabriel's arms encircled me from behind, chin on my shoulder. He'll come around. Storms pass. But storms brew bigger. Monday's school board meeting packed the auditorium. Folding chairs creaking under flannel shirt farmers. Moms clutching purses like shields. The air humming with murmured prayers. I sat front row with Thiago, his knee jittering. Gabriel a silent sentinel 2 rows back. Principal Vargas, a no-nonsense Latino with a law degree, called order, but chaos reigned. First up, Harlan, voice booming. This isn't about hate. It's safety. Boys' locker room talk turning. Inappropriate. Scholarships on the line. Illinois State don't want scandal. Murmurs swelled. Nods from the Baptist contingent, a few hisses. Then Mrs. Kowalski, the librarian who'd slipped Thiago Vonnegut novels under the counter, stood. Applause rippled, tentative. But then Jake's dad rose, red-faced. I ask you. My boy's traumatized. Thiago spread lies. About himself, about Mr. Harper and that. Artist. Ruined team trust. Thiago shot up, chair scraping. Lies? I told the truth. About loving who I love. About dad deserving the same. You want to talk trauma? Try your son shoving me into lockers for years, calling me names 'cause he couldn't face his own shit. Gasps echoed, the room fracturing. Jake, slouched in the back, face ashen, bolted for the exit. Chaos erupted. Shouts, a chair toppling, Vargas banging her gavel like thunder. We fled into the night, rain sheeting down, Gabriel's truck a getaway car. Thiago rode shotgun, silent fury boiling. At a diner off I-90, neon buzzing, open 24/7. We slid into a booth, coffee steaming black as our moods. You outed Jake too? I asked, voice low. Not on purpose. But yeah, he started it, spreading rumors about us to deflect. I just finished it. Gabriel stirred sugar, thoughtful. Kids got your fire, Dan. And Lisa's spine. Thiago met his eyes, first thaw. You really talked to her? Before. Every week. Phone calls from the hospital. She'd rant about bad jello, then get serious. Watch my boys, she'd say. Don't let fear win. Tears tracked Thiago's cheeks, mixing with coffee splashes. I miss her. We all did. The diner clock ticked, a fragile peace settling. But peace is prelude. That night, my phone lit with a blocked call. Voicemail from an unknown. Harper? This is Pastor Ellis. Your stepson's poison. Leave town, or we'll make sure no college touches him. God sees all. Threats. The American dream's dark underbelly. Love as leverage, faith as fist. I deleted it, but sleep evaded, ghosts whispering of flight or fight. Thiago's scholarship hung by threads, practices tense with side eyes. He confided in me one dawn, over frosted flakes. Jake texted. Apology. Says he's sorry, confused too. Wants to talk. Careful, I warned. Hearts break easy in this game. But Thiago, ever the risk-taker, met him at the quarry, neutral ground, rusted chain link, and echoing water. I paced the kitchen, Gabriel sketching absently, his lines jagged. Hours later, Thiago returned, lips split, eyes haunted. He kissed me, Dad, then punched me, said it was a mistake, that I made him do it. Rage boiled, paternal and primal. I grabbed keys, but Thiago blocked the door. No, it's done. But it hurts. Like, bone deep. Gabriel pulled him into a hug, awkward at first, then real. Hurts mean you're alive, kid. Means you tried. That vulnerability cracked us open. Over the next weeks, the three of us wove a tentative tapestry. Movie nights with Gabriel's rom-com picks, Thiago's playlists blending country twang with queer anthems, my designs incorporating their input. A logo for a local pride walk, subtle rainbows in the curves. Willow Creek simmered, but we simmered too. Petitions circulating for Thiago's scholarship, allies emerging like crocuses after frost. Then betrayal struck, sharp as Jake's fist. Anonymous email to the board, photos, blurry, damning. Me and Gabriel, that kiss in the kitchen, time-stamped months back. Sender? Jake's IP, traced later by a tech-savvy neighbor. Motive? Desperation, deflection, the coward's calculus. The board reconvened emergency. Suspension threatened, town dividing like fault lines. Thiago, cornered, lashed out at me in the heat of it. This your fault? Dragging us into your mess. Words like knives, slicing years of fatherhood. My mess? You're the one who couldn't keep quiet. Gabriel mediated, voice steady. Enough. We're in this, all of us. Blame's a dead end. But the wound festered. Thiago withdrew, sleeping at friends, his Mustang a phantom in the drive. I drowned in what-ifs. Gabriel's presence a comfort turning claustrophobic. Maybe I should go, he said one night, packing sketches. Give you space to fix this. Don't, I begged, pulling him close. Our kiss deepened, desperate, the line crossed in grief's haze. No more than that, but enough to stain. He stayed, but the house echoed with absences. Climax brewed, unexpected, a call from Illinois State. Scholarship intact, bolstered by a donor's letter praising Thiago's courage in adversity. Ally? Vargas, pulling strings. Relief flooded, but Thiago's return was a reckoning. He stood in the doorway, duffel slung, eyes red-rimmed. I get it now. The hiding, the fear. But Dad, we can't half-live. Mom wouldn't want that. I nodded, throat thick. No more masks. Gabriel joined us. The three of us on the porch swing Lisa loved, stars pricking the Illinois sky. To full lives, he toasted with root beer. But full lives demand sacrifice. The next dawn, another email, not threat, but olive branch. Jake, I'm sorry. For everything. Can we talk? For real. Thiago hesitated, then typed back. Forgiveness's first step. November swept in on gales that stripped the maples bare, leaving skeletons against gunmetal skies, the perfect backdrop for the unraveling that followed. Willow Creek's annual Turkey Trot 5K loomed, a staple of flannel and funnel cake, where the town pretended fractures didn't exist under layers of goodwill. Thiago signed up, defiant, his number pinned to a hoodie that read, "Run your own race." I volunteered at the water station, Gabriel manning the finish line with his camera, capturing not just runners, but the raw humanity of it all. Sweat-streaked faces, kids tumbling in leaves, the fleeting triumph before winter's grip. The race day dawned crisp, air laced with wood smoke and cinnamon from vendor carts. Thiago towed the start line with a cluster of teammates, tentative allies now, the team's huddle shifting after Jake's confession at a mandatory assembly. Vargas had brokered it. Jake, mic in hand, voice quavering, admitting his confusion, his cruelty born of fear. Thiago's my brother, not my enemy. I was wrong. Applause had been polite, but change rippled. Locker room taunts fading to awkward nods. A rainbow sticker on a helmet here, a shared protein bar there. I handed out cups at mile 2, smiles masking the churn in my gut. Whispers still slithered. Harper's boy, such a shame. From Mrs. Ellis, her trot more waddle than jog. But progress poked through, like the local paper's op-ed. Willow Creek's wake-up call. Love wins local. Pinned by Kowalski, quoting Whitman and citing Thiago's stats. 4.2 GPA, 1,200 rushing yards. Thiago crossed the finish first in his age group, chest heaving, metal glinting as Gabriel snapped shots. Proud of you, I murmured, clapping his back, the touch lighter now, unburdened. He grinned, rare and real. Feels good. Owning it. Lunch was potluck chaos. Tables groaning under jello salads and venison chili, bluegrass twanging from speakers. Jake approached then, plate in hand, eyes downcast. Hey T, congrats. Thiago stiffened, but nodded. Thanks. You run. Nah. Sprained ankle. Pause, heavy. Look, about the email. The pics. That was me. Panicked. Thought it'd make him back off. Fury flashed in Thiago's eyes, but he reined it. You outed my dad. Our family. For what? To save face. Jake's shoulders slumped, the quarterback's swagger stripped. I was scared shitless. My folks. They shipped me to conversion camp last summer. Said it'd fix me. It didn't. Just made me meaner. Confession hung, vulnerable as exposed wire. Gabriel, overhearing, lowered his camera. Camps like that? They're poison. Broke my brother. Lost him to pills after. You're lucky you got out. Jake blinked, tears brimming. Sorry doesn't cut it. I know. But, can we start over? Friends. Thiago waited, the crowd milling oblivious. Maybe. But trust's earned, man. No more knives in the back. Handshake sealed it. Tentative, the first brick in reconstruction. I watched from afar, heart swelling. Redemption's messy grace. American as apple pie and second chances. But secrets fester in the dark. That night, post-race bonfire crackling in the park, Thiago pulled me aside, voice low under the oaks. Dad, there's something else. Mom's letter. My breath caught. Leases will had included envelopes. For when you're ready. Sealed with wax hearts. Thiago's he'd opened at camp. Mine waited in my nightstand, uncracked from fear. Read it, he urged. She wrote about you. Us. Alone in the kitchen, fireflies winking outside. I slit the envelope, her script looping elegant. Danny boy, if you're reading this, I'm dancing with Whitman somewhere ethereal. Thiago's fire needs your steady. Tell him the story of Gabriel, the one that made your eyes light up like Christmas. Love isn't a zero-sum game. It's infinite. Be brave for me. For you. P.S. The attic box. Don't let it gather dust. Attic box. Heart pounding. I climbed the pull-down stairs, dust motes swirling like memories. There, amid holiday totes, a cedar chest. Lisa's handwriting, Dan's truths. Inside, my old journals from DePaul, faded Polaroids of Gabriel and me at Wrigley Field, arms slung casual but electric, a mixtape labeled for the man who stole my heart, twice, and a letter from her, dated post-diagnosis. I knew love. About the spectrum. It didn't dim us, it deepened. Thiago's suspects, but he's ready for the full color. Paint your life bold. I did. Tears blurred the ink, grief and gratitude crashing. She'd known, accepted, orchestrated this posthumous unveiling. I descended, journals clutched, Gabriel and Thiago waiting in the living room, popcorn forgotten mid-movie. Show me, Thiago said, no judgment, just hunger for wholeness. We pored over pages by lamplight, my college confessions, the ache of hiding, the joy of stolen weekends with Gabriel in Door County, bluff walks, and bonfire whispers. Gabriel filled gaps, voice soft. Your dad was my North Star, kid. Lost him once to fear. Won't again. Thiago traced a photo, our faces young, unscarred. Mom was a badass. Setting this up like a rom-com plot twist. Laughter broke the solemnity, but undercurrents stirred. Later, as Gabriel sketched by the hearth, Thiago cornered me in the hall. You love him? For real? Swallowing hard, I nodded. Always have. Your mom. She gave me permission to chase it. He hugged me then, fierce, bones pressing like vows. Then do it. But I'm part of this. No secrets. The pact sealed our trio tighter, but fate's a trickster. December brought finals, Thiago acing exams amid snowdrifts, his acceptance packet from state arriving with fanfare, full ride, housing included. Celebration dinner at Giordano's, deep dish piled high, toasts clinking with craft sodas. But mid-bite, Thiago's phone buzzed, unknown number. He paled, screen tilting, video attachment. Play, grainy footage, time-stamped last summer's camp. Thiago and Jake, by the lake, hands fumbling in shadows, a kiss cut short by panic. Sender, anonymous, but the attached note screamed Jake's desperation. If you tell, this goes viral. Protect your own. Blackmail. The pie turned to ash in my mouth. Thiago bolted to the bathroom, retching. Gabriel and I exchanged glances, steeling for war. We drove home in fraught quiet, snow whipping the windshield. He sent that? After everything. Thiago rasped, knuckles white on the dash. Leverage, Gabriel said grimly. Kids cornered, lashing out. I pulled over at a gas station, fluorescence harsh. We confront him. Together. No more hiding. Thiago nodded, resolve hardening. Dawn meeting at the quarry, neutral, echoing their first clash. Jake waited, put up against flurries, eyes hollowed by insomnia. You sent it. Thiago accused, no preamble. Jake flinched. Yeah, my dad found out about the camp about us. He's threatening to disown me, pull college funds. Said if I don't prove I'm straight, we're done. The video. It's insurance. Against you spilling more. Thiago stepped forward, voice steel. Insurance? It's poison, Jake. Delete it. Or I will. Press charges for extortion, whatever it takes. Gabriel interjected, calm anchor. This cycle ends here. Your dad's fear isn't yours to carry. Talk to him. Or a counselor. There's help. PFLAG chapter in Rockford, they get this. Jake crumpled, snow dusting his boots. I can't. He's everything. Then build your own everything. I said, paternal echo. Thiago did. With us. Video deleted on the spot. Phone smashed under heel, cathartic crunch. Jake's sobs echoed off water, forgiveness fracturing into fragile peace. I'm sorry. Again. For real this time. Hug exchanged, raw and redemptive. But scars linger. Thiago withdrew post-confrontation, nightmares of exposure jerking him awake, football dreams tainted by what-ifs. What if it leaks anyway? He'd whisper. 2 a.m. confessions over cocoa. Gabriel and I leaned in harder. Therapy sessions in Elgin, a queer youth group Thiago scoffed at then embraced, sharing stories of small-town exiles and big-city blooms. My designs shifted, bolder, murals for the community center, themes of hidden rivers breaking free. Christmas Eve brought unexpected grace. Jake's family showed, awkward, olive branch extended via fruitcake and halting apologies. We were wrong, Mr. Hargrove admitted, mustache quivering. Jake's seeing someone. Church counselor's good, not the camp kind. Dinner stretched late, carols on the stereo, lights twinkling on Lisa's tree. Thiago and Jake talked low by the hearth, rebuilding bridges. Gabriel's gift to me. A portrait, us three under that oak, intertwined roots. Family, he murmured, kissing my temple soft. But climax crested New Year's, fireworks bursting over Lake Michigan as we road tripped to Chicago for a fresh start. Art Institute Gala, Gabriel's invite. Thiago in a borrowed blazer, wide-eyed at Monet's. Me and Gabriel, hands brushing in crowds, out and unashamed. Then, in the shadowed sculpture garden, Thiago's phone lit. Final anonymous ping. Leaked video, circulating on a defunct team's Snapchat ghost. Sender? Not Jake. A jealous teammate, grudge nursed from the huddle. Panic surged. Thiago vanished into the night, coat forgotten, Gabriel and I scrambling. We found him on the lakeshore, waves crashing like fury, phone smashed against rocks. It's out, he choked. Everyone sees now. I wrapped him in my jacket, Gabriel flanking. Then we own it louder. Press, podcast, whatever. Turn poison to power. Dawn broke, resolutions forged in salt air. Back home, Willow Creek roiled. Viral clips sparking debates, allies amplifying, haters howling. But Thiago stood tall. Interview with the Tribune. This is me. Love me or lose me. Betrayal's sting faded to strength, our bond the forge. Spring thawed Willow Creek slowly, like a reluctant confession. Crocuses pushing through frost-hardened soil, the quarry's ice cracking into tentative flows. Thiago's video leak became legend, not liability. Shares spiking to thousands. Comments a battlefield of hearts and pitchforks. The Tribune piece went national, picked up by Out magazine. Heartland hero, one teen stand against small-town shadows. Colleges circled, offers from UCLA, NYU, scholarships sweetened with diversity initiatives. But Thiago held for state, loyal to the gridiron dreams, to the town testing its tolerance. The backlash peaked mid-March. Anonymous flyers stapled to telephone poles. Protect our youth. Boycott Harper Graphics. Clients dipped. Brewery logos shelved. A realtor's rebrand paused. Bills piled. The house creaking under strain. Gabriel stepped up, selling canvases online. Portraits of Thiago's resolve fetching 4 figures. Queer Fire series trending on Instagram. Art's my fight, he said, paint-flecked hands cupping my face. Yours too. But the real war waged inward. Thiago's bravado cracked in quiet moments. Therapy sessions where he'd trace the counselor's fern-patterned mug, voice flat. Feel like a specimen. Everyone staring, waiting for me to crack. Jake faded, friendship fraying under parental pressure. His texts dwindled to emojis, then silence. He's choosing safety, Thiago rationalized, but hurt etched lines around his eyes, premature as worry. I mirrored his fracture. Nights staring at Lisa's stone, weeds creeping her plot, whispering. We tried, love. Made it brighter. Gabriel anchored me, our relationship blooming cautious. Walks along the Des Plaines River, hands laced under willows, kisses in his truck parked at Makeout Point overlooks. No rush, no labels, just us, rebuilding from ruins. Then the unexpected high tide. Pastor Ellis's sermon, Easter Sunday, St. Mary's packed pews rustling like judgments. I'd skipped, but Thiago went, defiant Easter lily in his lapel. He returned shell-shocked, relaying over brunch quiche. He called me up. Not to shame, to bless. Said the leak showed grace under fire. Invited us to lead a youth forum. Ellis, the threat leaver now ally? People change, Dad. Or pretend to. But it's a start. The forum packed the rec center. Teens fidgeting on yoga mats. Parents arms crossed in folding chairs. Thiago spoke first, voice steady. I hid 'cause I was scared. Like you might be. But hiding eats you alive. Coming out? It's freedom. Questions tumbled. Raw, real. What about God? From a freckled girl. My brother's like you. How do I help? From a lanky boy. Gabriel sketched live, faces emerging on butcher paper. Vulnerabilities gallery. My turn. I'm Daniel Harper. Stepdad, graphic guy, gay man. Loved Thiago's mom with everything. Now loving differently. It's not betrayal, it's expansion. Applause swelled, tentative then thunderous. Ellis clasped my hand after, grip firm. Forgive the fear, son. We're learning. Humanity's arc, bending slow but sure. But arcs demand descents. April brought Gabriel's call from New York. Gallery owner, big break, solo show in Chelsea. Hearts, unhidden, featuring our story. Come, he urged. You and Thiago. Launchpad for all of us. Temptation tugged, city lights, fresh starts, escape from flyers and stares. But roots ran deep. Thiago overheard, eyes lighting. Go. Both of you. I'll hold the fort, senior project due, anyway. Decision loomed, knife-edged. That night, under stars sharp as stakes, Gabriel and I walked the backyard, Lisa's oak a sentinel. This could be it, Dan. Us real. No more half measures. And leave Thiago? In the thick of it. Heart split. Love for him paternal, fierce. For Gabriel, romantic, redemptive. He stopped, hands framing my face. He's 18, stronger than us combined. But if you stay, I stay. The choice crystallized at dawn. I drove Gabriel to O'Hare, his duffel light, our goodbye kiss salt-tinged with maybe. 6 months, he promised. Shows a launch. Then back, or you join. Plane vanished into clouds, taking breath with it. Home echoed emptier, Thiago's chatter a band-aid. We filled days with ritual, morning runs, his college packing, my freelance hustles rebounding via queer-owned brands. Secrets surfaced in the quiet. Thiago's hidden sketchbook, Gabriel-inspired swirls. My journal restarts, pages for Lisa's ghost. May's prom brought levity. Thiago dateless, but dashing in thrift store tucks. Posse of allies turning it queer-coded. Glitter bow ties, a float built for the after-party parade. I chaperoned, cornered by Jake's mom in the gym's thump of bass. He's struggling. She confessed, punch cup trembling. Therapy's helping, but thank Thiago for not hating. Forgiveness is his gift, I said. Ours too. Summer scorched in, graduation a blaze of mortarboards and pomp and circumstance. Thiago valedictorian, speech a mic drop. Willow Creek taught me fear's loud, but love's louder. To the fighters, the hiders, step into your light. It's waiting. Caps soared, cheers deafening. State reps clapped Thiago's back, scholarship checks waving like flags. Post-ceremony barbecue at the park, smoke curling from grills, kids chasing fireflies. Jake appeared, tentative, offering a beer. Proud of you, T. Conversation flowed, cautious, college plans, mutual crushes dodged. By dusk, laughter returned, tentative bridge holding. But climax crested July 4th. Fireworks over the Fox River, our annual block party, a test of truces. Thiago and I manned the grill, burgers sizzling, neighbors mingling wary. Then Gabriel's truck rolled in, unannounced, fireworks bursting overhead like omens. He stepped out, canvas rolls underarm, smile crooked. Missed the best part. Thiago hooped, bear hug lifting him. Dude, show go big. Sold out. Critics raved. Harper's heart in every stroke. Eyes met mine, promise electric. The night unfolded magic. Dances on the lawn to Springsteen. Thiago twirling a neighbor's kid. Gabriel unveiling a mural unrolled on the fence. Us three, intertwined under that oak. Colors vibrant as hope. Gasps, then applause. Even Ellis nodded approval. But in the afterglow, by the picnic table littered with sparklers, Thiago pulled us aside. Video's anniversary today. Feels like yesterday. Gabriel slung arms around us both. And tomorrow's promise. We're unbreakable now. Yet decisions loomed. Thiago's dorm move looming. Gabriel's gallery tempting return offers. What if? I started, fear's old whisper. Thiago grinned, firefly jar glowing in his hand. What if we build branches, not cut roots? Weekends in the city, holidays here. Families fluid. Wisdom from the kid I'd raised. Lisa's echo, infinite love. We toasted with sparklers, sparks ascending like prayers. August saw transitions. Thiago's Mustang loaded for Bloomington, duffel stuffed with care packages, my cookies, Gabriel's sketch pads. Tearful goodbye at the dorm, bunks smelling of fresh paint and possibility. Call every day, he demanded, hugging fierce. We will, Gabriel promised as I choked back sobs. Alone, the house sighed, too big, too quiet. Gabriel moved in fully, easel in the garage, our mornings coffee-scented, evenings tangled in limbs and laughter. No rush to labels, just us, authentic. Fall leaves turned, Thiago thriving, texts of frat mixers with queer flags, game highlights where he rushed for touchdowns under stadium lights. Visits bridged miles, tailgates with burnt hot dogs, city jaunts to Gabriel's openings. One crisp November, back at Rose Hill, we three gathered at Lisa's stone. Thiago tracing her name, Gabriel sketching the scene, me reading Whitman aloud. I bequeath myself to the dirt to grow from the grass I love. Wind whispered agreement. Betrayals healed to scars, misunderstandings to wisdom. No tidy bows. Life's not hallmark, but humanistic grace. Acceptance earned, love expanded. Thiago looked up, eyes clear. She'd be proud. She is, I said, handing Gabriel's, Thiago's shoulder under mine. And in that circle, under Midwest sky vast as forgiveness, we were whole.